Imagine if you gave a talk to a giant room of people and halfway through, most of them just stood up and left. And at the end, the rest of them came up to you and said, "Do you know what? That was so boring. Why would I listen to someone with tattoos? You kind of look like a budget Jake Gyllenhaal. I've never met someone whose speaking smells. I cannot stand people like you." And then imagine you did this every week for years. How long do you think you'd be able to take that kind of mental punishment? Everyone thinks YouTube is tough because making videos is hard, but that's just not what the real challenge is. The real challenge is getting up on stage every week and getting knocked back like this time after time. It's data telling you nobody cared about your latest video or that they left halfway through. It's the shame you feel when you post a flop. It's the comments. It's that feeling in your stomach when your competition is growing so much faster than you, even though they're not making better videos. Wow, this guy really gets how I feel. Well, yeah, that's because I've been there, but I found a way to make the YouTube mental battle so much easier. And you know what? I've never been happier, and I just don't care about any of these things anymore. It's wonderful. So today, I'm going to give you my 5 controversial hacks. They're going to build you a coping mechanism so you can do this long term without burning out, crying, and it's going to save you time and make this way more enjoyable too. So to start, you need to understand why these 5 things are going to be so effective though. So this is your life as an adult. You have a job, you have friends, family, you have nights where you don't sleep very well, you have weekends where you let your hair down a little bit too much, but hey, I don't judge you. You've got bills, admin, cooking, cleaning, picking up the kids from school, putting petrol in your car, DIY, mowing the lawn, paying rent, buying clothes. I could go on forever. My point is this, pretty much everything you do loads some kind of stress onto your shoulders, from little micro stresses like having to transfer money to pay a bill, to just running out of milk in the morning, which means you're always carrying this baggage around with you. Now, most of it won't be on your mind all day, but it's still baggage. So when YouTube throws even the smallest bit of stress your way, it can become too much, which means the YouTube stuff on top of that pile feels like the heaviest. Now, we can't get rid of general life crap, but we can get rid of a ton of the YouTube stresses that sit on top of it if you're willing to do what I do. All right, so the first controversial game changer that really did change my life is very simple. And actually, most creators of a certain size are doing this, but they won't admit it. I'm going to admit it. So imagine you're carrying the mountain of stress with you and you go on stage to give your talk and people just stand up and shout, "You look like a thumb. This is bullshit. You're wrong. I am disappointed in you for mentioning your products. Shame on you." When we go into the YouTube studio to look at the comments and someone has written something mean, or they're putting you down, or they're trying to outsmart you, most people lose their shit. And they try to think of ways to defend their honor just in case others might see it. I've witnessed people spend 45 minutes to an hour in rage trying to perfect this one reply. And it's such a massive stress and epic waste of time because what do you think the person who left it did after they wrote it? Sit there all day just waiting for your reply? No, they moved on and they probably totally forgot they even wrote it because they're an idiot. But you will carry that weight with you all day and it'll impact your job. You'll be short with your partner. You might snap at the kids because it's just there in your mind. And this is what pushes many of us to breaking point. So how do you cope? Do this exact thing the next time you read a comment that you even feel slightly bit stressed or annoyed by. You click here and then click hide user from channel. And then you leave the comment section and you're done for the day. I guarantee that in 10 minutes, you will have forgotten about this and the time and stress you will have saved might have just bought you another month coping with the mental pain of YouTube. Which brings me on to the next controversial hack, which actually means you stop comments like this coming in altogether. So I've been asking YouTubers if they do this too. Most said yes, but they won't admit it publicly. I will. So inside your YouTube studio, you have this little section which allows you to flag words in the comments. What that means is when someone writes one of the words in their comment, it goes straight into the spam section, so you don't ever have to see it. Now, you do need to have words in there like Bitcoin anyway, because there's tons of bots and scammers using those words. But other words you should probably put in there are fat or tattoos or 4 eyes, anything mean people might say about you. And if you sell a product, put in the word disappointed, because when you dare to promote something, people will say they're disappointed that you tried to make a living. And that will annoy you, I promise. Basically, build a bank of words that might trigger stress, and then just don't check the spam section ever. Or get someone else to do it for you. I know YouTubers with hundreds of blocked words and blocked people. This is very common. Now, one reason I think this is really important for newer and smaller channels is because you've been taught that you have to reply to every comment, and that's not true. I've seen a creator go from 0 to 1 million subscribers in 4 months on YouTube, and they didn't reply to a single one. So don't think it's like a critical algorithm hack. We want to reply to people as it's just like a nice thing to do, and the guys that turn up time and time again, I think they deserve that little bit of interaction. The problem is, when you're small or new and you get one comment on your video and it's hate or something snarky, it makes you feel like everyone watching thinks the same thing. And that's a big cross to bear, but also it's probably not true. Hitting hide user from your channel won't hurt you. The mental strain of thinking 100% of your viewers dislike you will. Which brings me on to something that helped me deal with trolls in a very big way. And this is a pretty sad story, so buckle up. So years ago, I had this lawn care company and I used to put fertilizer on people's lawn. Fertilizer has iron in, and if you spill iron on a patio, it stains it. So I was outside one of my clients' house and I dropped this big bag of fertilizer on their brand new driveway. I knew it was going to stain it orange, so I cleaned it up as quick as I could. Anyway, I went home. The next day I get a phone call. Ed, what have you done to our drive? I was like, oh my God, this is going to get expensive. So I drove around straight away and the stain wasn't that bad. So I said, oh, I'll just keep cleaning it. I scrubbed it. And after about an hour, I said to them, it's gone. And the lady looked at me and she was like, it's still there. I was like, no, it's definitely gone. She was like, are you kidding? I can see it. And she just went absolutely crazy at me. I just didn't know what to do. I just got in my car and left. And I was waiting for her to sue me. Anyway, I spent the next 2 days thinking about how I was going to afford to spend £50,000 on a new drive for this woman, even though I couldn't see the mess. About a week later, I was driving in the neighborhood and I bumped into this lady. And I rolled down the window of my van, terrified. And I said, oh, how's the drive? And she was like, oh, it's fine, Ed, it's gone. She said, sorry, I was so rude to you last week. My son died in a car crash that morning. And it just made me feel so bad. But it also made me realize something very valuable. We're all fighting our own battles and we're all carrying our own piles. And sometimes when people leave comments on your videos, they're just having a bad day and they're looking for a place to vent. So the best thing you can do is realize that and move on. Which brings me on to my next controversial hack that gets rid of stress, and this one will change your life. So it's probably more relevant to the larger channels, but it's good to know for when you blow up because you're going to make it, kiddo. So because you're carrying all that stress with you all day, it means you have to find time to deal with it, and there's only 24 hours in a day, right? Which means our time is incredibly precious. So in order to save a massive amount, you need to be very picky about the comments you do reply to. So I have a rule, which is this: devote a set amount of time to replying once a week, no more. This is great to do on launch of a video because your loyal homies, they're going to be the first to comment and then you can say thank you and whatever the hell you want to say. But just religiously stick to commenting in that time slot and forget about YouTube for the rest of the week. The less this is in your worry pile, the happier you'll be. Okay, this next controversial hack I think is the toughest one for creators to deal with because it makes them feel really far behind and kind of useless. So have you ever felt that disgusting feeling in your chest or your stomach when a creator in your niche who seems to be making worse videos than you is blowing up? Yeah, it kind of hurts. I literally spent years feeling like this. The thing is, it's all bullshit because I know views do not equal success or happiness or fulfillment, and that channel doing well will probably be feeling the same thing about someone else or looking at you going, damn it, their videos are good. They're going to catch up. So how do you deal with this? Because it potentially never ends and we just don't need this stuff in your worry pile. Well, there's two options: a short-term fix and a long-term fix. Let's start with the short. So firstly, when you see their videos appear on the homepage, click Don't Recommend Channel, so you don't have to see them again. Now, this does cause a bit of a problem because to grow a channel, you need to research your niche and understand your competition. But what I would do is I would just have a second account specifically for research that you only ever go on when you're researching, not when you're just there to enjoy YouTube without the stress. And the second is just to realize this: the views you see mean nothing other than someone is good at getting views. You can jump on trends, social hacks, talk about breaking news stories, and these things will grow your channel much faster, but that doesn't mean those viewers value you or care about you. They only care when you have consistently improved their life in some meaningful way, and often the more targeted content that doesn't get viral views are the videos that achieve this, because the more views you aim for, the more your content has to appeal to the mass market, and the more watered down the info often needs to be to do that. So instead, you need a crystal clear goal and a mission to judge your success by, not just views. When you have that and you see a channel growing faster, you just simply ask yourself, what's their goal? And do their views stop me from hitting my own? The answer is nearly always going to be no, which just removes all of that envy you feel. The thing is, how do you look after the right people? And what happens when channels go big on helping less people? Well, the truth is they make a lot of money. They work less, they have less stress, and they retire young. And this video here won't just prove that to you, but it will show you how to do it for yourself. So don't ignore it unless you like having no time or money and enjoy stress. If that's you, don't click it.